the 29th today of January. I went for a long run today. I did about 19 Ks. Sort of did 8.5, stopped for about 20 minutes, and then 8.5 back. It was just a middle of the day run. So it was hot. It's about 34 degrees, 35 degrees outside. Humid. It was pre a storm. It was build up of a storm that made it quite hot outside, and I ran up to this sort of point along the shore near the beach, and after the first 8k, a storm started to come through, and I got hit with a nice little bit of rain and a little bit of wind, so I just sort of stopped and I just sat on a park bench outside in the middle of it. Obviously, the video yesterday I had a lot of emotions going on. There's still a lot of emotions going on, and I'm just trying to find ways to deal with it. One of the ways is training, and I took my camelback, took some water, popped on a hat, had some headphones, and just went on a long run. And like I said yesterday, I just went deep into the pain cave and just did a little bit of renovating and a little bit of digging. But I have no doubt that I'll probably be back there a few times in the next few months, just to sort of sort myself out. I didn't film the run. I've previously said that when I film my long runs, it just takes away from the running. I'm too worried about filming things rather than the actual action of running. So what I did was I just took a quick video on my phone and then just a picture of myself sitting on the park bench when I was having my 20-minute break, face covered in zinc, and that was about it. I decided to then just film my routine stretching of the evening after the run, just my bodily maintenance, which is probably a lot of what I've put in other videos before anyway, but this is just another circuit. I do this circuit twice in a row, so I'll do all these stretches once, which is all you're going to see here, and then I'll do it again. So it's about 20 minutes of stretching all up. After I do it the second time, this is going to be about 10 or 12 minutes of actual footage of me stretching. But yeah, look, I think there's nothing better than a long run to clear your head out. I think there's something meditative about that, and I think getting in a rhythm. And this time I brought headphones with me, yes, but I went without headphones for about 5Ks in total of this run, so I spent a good 20-25 minutes just getting into a rhythm, getting into a zone, and just sort of thinking. But anyway, I think it was good for me. It was a good process. I think you need those moments without stimulus, without the dopamine hit you get from listening to your favourite song and banging along to your favourite song, keeping good rhythm. I think you need to, not all the time, but every now and then, take a break from that and listen to your own sort of internal rhythm as you run. And that's what I did for about 5Ks. I did that for about the first 5Ks and sort of looked inwards, went into some, dark places and, in my mind, and had a lot of deep thinking and deep thought. And then sort of after that, I popped the headphones on and I started to listen to some music, and then really sort of pick myself up afterwards. After doing a bit of thinking, I didn't feel fantastic. Like I probably felt a little bit sad rather than any sort of pain or stress from the actual run. So I just put some music on as a pick me up, a little dopamine hit, which got me to my break. Took the headphones off again, listened to the waves absolutely hammer this beach that I was sitting across. There's a few rocks out in the shore, low-lying rocks out on the water that the waves are absolutely hammering into. And I spent 25 minutes just watching this storm come over and come in. Sort of clipping this point, this outlook I was at, and then mainly focusing back onto the city. And I'll pop a picture up. If you look in that picture that I sense. It's probably not the best picture, but in the background there's some buildings, and to give perspective on how far I'd run, I live near those buildings that you can see right in the background. And I know the phone probably distorts it quite a lot, makes it seem like it's a lot further than it is, but to me that sort of represented the nine odd Ks that I'd come and the 9 odd Ks that I had to go back. So it was good thinking. The first 5Ks, a little bit of music for the last few Ks to get to the 9K mark, 25 minutes, headphones off, listening to nature, listening to the waves, listening to the wind, listening to the rain hit the leaves of the trees that were around this little park bench that I was sitting on, feeling the water just run down me, hit my skin, and then the wind just blasting me as the storm hit shore and hit land. And it was a good experience. I felt a little bit more connected back to earth and back to nature, even though it wasn't. It's not like going bush or anything like that, but I'd been working a lot the last few days, and I haven't had too much chance to go outside in the last couple of weeks, just because it's been raining a lot. So yeah, I think it was good for me to get some sun, two, just get back to hearing what's happening in the world and hearing some elements and some natural sounds, rather than being around all this man-made stuff and man-made noise and things like that. So I found that for myself, sitting there while that storm was hitting, there was a moment of silence, or a few moments of silence in and amongst the almost chaos, sort of controlled chaos that the storm sort of brung as it hit land. Anyway, enough of sort of what I was probably thinking about. I don't want to go too deep into it too soon. It'll be a day-by-day process. But look, with my stretching, I'll go back to what's on screen. With my stretching after I did these longer runs, and for me, look, 5K I can do pretty easy, pretty quick. 5 to 8Ks is somewhere where I'm usually pretty comfortable with. Maybe under 10Ks, 10 and under, I'm pretty comfortable with. Once I start getting over that, I get fatigued quite quickly and I slow down quite quickly. So it's a drawn out long run for me. Like it's a couple hours if I'm going anywhere but on a flat path, which is what I did today. I went up and down a few hills. So it was long, and your legs do take a bit of a beating no matter how good your technique is, so you need to maintain that. So I did a lot of lower body, lower lumbar stretching here, which is part of my normal routine. A lot of it's just emphasized on obviously quads, hamstrings, calves, hips, hip flexors, glutes, a couple of glute stretches in there, and then at the end, in the last five or so minutes, 30 seconds I did my calf exercises. So you do your calf raises, and then you sort of do your shin raises. And what I found is that gets your gets your dorsiflexion moving and your ankle mobility firing a little bit of maintenance. I find when I get shin splints quite bad. I find that I get shin splints quite bad after I do some longer runs, and especially doing these shin raises has helped significantly in improving the health of my shins and of my shin splints. I was always one to do calf raises, and I always thought if I did enough calf raises that would fix it. But it gets to a point where it can help. It definitely helps, but finding these shin raises was like a godsend, because every time I get the slightest hint of feeling shin splints coming on, or feeling tightness in that upper ankle area, mid calf or anything like that, I'll do these shin raises. I don't even have to do that much. I'll normally do sort of 3 sets of 30, maybe make it the last set 40 just to hit 100 reps. And I find that sort of sustains me. I don't have sort of a regular pattern to when I do them. I just sort of I have a sense of when I need to do them and when my body feels like it needs them. So yeah, once again, a fantastic exercise. I invite anyone who runs to employ it. And then also here's sort of some reverse Nordics as well, working with some of the tension in my quads and my hips, and much tighter this evening. I'm doing this again about 11 o'clock at night. I'm on a sort of later sleep schedule, which is messing me around a little bit. I didn't go for my run until midday, so I normally do at 10 a.m. But these sort of, I don't know, reverse Nordics or whatever you call them, you feel them so much sort of through your knee, from your patella right up until you hit your hip and your hip flexors. And then when you're leaning back as well, you're just stretching your ankles out as well, and you feel it in your ankles. So it's just fantastic for the tendons and the ligaments, and some of those smaller muscle groups, to do some work and just get a bit of a stretch out of them. I've also found that has helped my hip pain quite a lot. The left sort of groin hip pain that I get sometimes, I think could partially be something in my hip is not compensating, or something, around my quad hip flexor region. Could be psoas. I don't know if it works. Your psoas muscle might do. That was messing my hip up a little bit, and I found that these have again been a excellent exercise. And then I just sort of finish with with a stretch, sort of going back on my knees over my toes and trying to just keep my body straight and get as low as I possibly can, without sort of lifting my knees off the ground. I want to leave my knees in contact with the ground. And yeah, you just feel that burn all through your ankles, all through your knees, all through your core. It's just incredibly uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable position to hold, and I try and hold it for 20 seconds if I can. And I'll do that one more time. I'll do the circuit again one more time. And usually those reverse Nordics improve, and then after that stretch in particular, and my mobility there improves. But coming to what I mentioned before, these are the sort of shin raisers. I know it's a little bit hard to see and probably not the best angle, but so all you do is you just lean up on a wall, bend at the hips, keep your legs straight from the hips, so you want your glutes on the wall, back straight on the wall, and then legs out from there. So you've got all the tension on sort of your calves, and just heels to the ground, pull your feet up, pull your toes up, try and pull your toes up as far as you can, keep your legs straight, and you'll feel that burn on the outside of your shin, outside of your leg, particularly sort of low from your ankle to maybe the middle of your tibia, something like that, if you're going off a marking. So I do those, and then I mix in some calf raises as well, just doing like a bit of vice versa movement. There is sort of well rounding out of my training, but look, that's all I can probably talk about today. It's all I have energy to talk about today. We'll see you tomorrow in the next video, and we will be training. Cheers, thank you very much.